Broken Social Scene is a Canadian indie rock band, a musical collective including as few as 6 and as many as 19 members, formed in 1999 by Kevin Drew and Brendan Canning. Most of its members currently play in various other groups and solo projects, mainly in the city of Toronto. The band refuses the label supergroup, based on size or the ubiquity of their members, claiming that in the indie scene everyone is involved in more than one project. The group's sound could be considered a combination of all of its members' respective musical projects, and is occasionally considered baroque pop. It is characterized by a very large number of sounds, grand orchestrations featuring guitars, horns, woodwinds, and violins, unusual song structures, and an experimental, and sometimes chaotic production style from David Newfeld, who produced the second and third albums. In 2009, Stuart Berman's This Book Is Broken, which details the band from its inception to its critical acclaim, was published. In 2010, Bruce McDonald made This Movie Is Broken, a movie about the band's hardball front show during the 2009 Toronto strike. History. Feel Good Lost. The band's core members are Kevin Drew and Brendan Canning. This duo recorded and released the band's ambient debut album, Feel Good Lost, on Noise Factory Records in 2001, with contributions by Justin Pieroff, Charles Spearin, Bill Priddle, Leslie Feist, Jessica Moss and stars Evan Cranley. However, when they played shows to support the album, Drew and Canning found it difficult to put together an entertaining show based on their material thus far, which was almost entirely instrumental. As a result, they brought in a number of friends from the Toronto indie scene Euro album contributors as well as Andrew Whiteman, Jason Collett, and Metric's Emily Haynes Euro to flesh out their live show with lyrics and vocals. Over time, the band also came to include contributions from James Shaw, Justin Pieroff, John Crossingham, and stars member Amy Milon. You Forgot It in People. All of the previously mentioned guest musicians joined with Drew, Canning, Pieroff and Spearin to record the band's second album, You Forgot It in People. The album was originally released on Paper Bag Records in October 2002 and won the Alternative Album of the Year Juno Award in 2003. The album also included musical contributions by Priddle, Jessica Moss, Brodie West, Susanna Brady and Ohad Benchetrit, but these were credited as supporting musicians rather than band members. On the supporting tour, the core band consisted of Drew, Canning, Pieroff, Whiteman and Jason Collett, along with any other band member who was available to attend any individual show. In 2003, the B-Sides and Remix collection Beehives was released. Broken Social Scene song Lovers Spit from 2002's You Forgot It in People has been featured in director Clack copyright meant Virgo's movie Lie With Me, Paul McGuigan's Wicker Park, Bruce McDonald's The Love Crimes of Gillian Guess, Showtime's Queer as Folk and the penultimate episode of the Canadian series Terminal City. The version of Lovers Spit found on 2004's Beehives record was also featured in an episode of the third season of the FX series Nip Tuck. Showtime's television program The L Word featured Pacific theme Looks Just Like the Sun, both from You Forgot It in People in the show's first season. Looks Just Like the Sun was also featured in the 2006 film Swedish Auto. Stars and Sons from You Forgot It in People also appeared in the movie The Invisible. Music from the band's albums was used to score the 2006 film Half Nelson. Broken Social Scene. Broken Social Scene released their third full-length album, Broken Social Scene on October 4, 2005, with new contributors including K.O.'s, Jason Tate and Murray Lightbune. The inside booklet accompanying album also noted several new faces as part of Broken Social Scene including stars members Torquil Campbell and David Newfeld, who produced this album as well as You Forgot It in People. A limited edition EP, To Be You and Me was also printed along with the album. The group appeared on Late Night with Conan O'Brien on January 31, 2006 performing 7/4. At the 2006 Juno Awards, they performed To Be Dreams of Pavement at the show and their eponymous album won the Alternative Album of the Year award. In July 2006 the band announced a temporary hiatus following the conclusion of their November US tour while members work on their other projects. Broken Social Scene were last-minute replacement performers at North America's first Virgin Festival, at Toronto Islands Park, the weekend of September 9, Euro 10, 2006. Contacted on September 7 after headliner's Massive Attack cancelled due to problems involving obtaining U.S. visas, the entire band, just returned from a European tour in August, managed to assemble to close the festival Sunday night. Appearing on the main Virgin Mobile stage, immediately following performances by international superstar bands The Strokes and the Raconteurs, Broken Social Scene took the stage at 10 p.m., and played a set of over an hour. Through the performance the band was joined by Feist, Amy Millan of Stars, KOs, and Emily Haynes of Metric. This was the last show featuring the rare 15-member lineup of the band until 2009. In late 2006, several members of the band appeared as special guests on the Stars and Sons Sessions, the second album from Mexican indie band Chiquita Violenta. The album was produced by Dave Newfeld. In May 2008, the band contributed a T-shirt designed for the Yellow Bird Project to raise money and awareness for the Lake Ontario waterkeeper. The shirt was designed by their drummer, Justin Pieroff, and bears the slogan Hope for Truth. They have also composed and recorded an original score for director Mark Evans's film Snowcake, as well as scored his 2007 film adaptation of Maureen Mead's novel, The Tracy Fragments. In 2009, Bruce McDonald directed a short documentary episode of IFC's The Raw Side Of that focused on the making of Brendan Canning's solo album Something for All of Us. Broken Social Scene presents On June 8, 2007, music website pitchforkmedia.com reported that BSS founder Kevin Drew was recording a solo album, which was to feature many other members of Broken Social Scene and produced by Ohad Ben-Chetrit and Charles Spearin. The album is entitled Broken Social Scene Presents Kevin Drew, Spirit If, and is intended to be the first in a series of Broken Social Scene presents albums. The album was recorded throughout 2004 and 2006 in Ohad Ben-Chetrit's house while the band was not on tour. Although billed as a solo project, nearly every Broken Social Scene member makes a cameo appearance. The sound itself is Broken Social Scene's familiar mix of rough and ragged, sad and celebratory. It is prone to psychedelic swells, acoustic jangles and features a cast of friends and associates playing and singing and hand-clapping along. The album was released on September 18, 2007 and a tour billed as Broken Social Scene Performs Kevin Drew's Spirit If was engaged in late 2007. The second Broken Social Scene Presents record, by Brendan Canning, is entitled Something for All of Us and was released on Arts and Crafts on July 22, 2008. In a recent interview, Canning said the group would be working on a full Broken Social Scene album before another in this series would be produced. Broken Social Scene also took part in the 2008 Siren Music Festival in Coney Island, Brooklyn. In March 2009 it was announced that Arts and Crafts, with association from Anansi Press, would release this book as Broken, written by the Grid editor Stuart Berman, who confesses his close personal involvement with the band in the opening chapters. The book includes artwork, concert posters and photographs of the band. Most of the narration is provided by interval material of the band and related persons, arranged by subject and chronology. The book was released in May 2009, and has been described as a visual oral history of not only the band, but of Toronto itself. On April 29, 2009, Kevin Drew and Brendan Canning guest-hosted 102.1 The Edge's program The Indie Hour to promote a concert as part of the Olympic Island Festival that was later moved to Harbourfront Centre due to a strike by the City of Toronto's outside workers which resulted in the suspension of ferry service to the Toronto Islands. Forgiveness rock record On June 17, 2009, the band appeared during North by Northeast as special guest at the Arts and Crafts launch of This Book Is Broken. During their short set, he played a mix of new songs from the upcoming album and old favorites. Despite press reports earlier in the year that she would not likely play with them again, they were joined in this performance by Feist. Also on October 23, Feist joined them on their second visit to Mexico City. During the band's free performance at the Harbour Front Centre on July 11, 2009, they were joined by nearly all past contributors, including Feist, Emily Haines and James Shaw, Amy Millan and Evan Cranley, John Crossingham, Jason Collett and Julie Benayer. This revue-like show celebrated other projects by members as well as including new material from the upcoming album. They were introduced at this show by Bruce MacDonald, who announced the filming of a movie directed by him and written by Don McKellar called This Movie Is Broken. This documentary includes concert footage as well as a fictional romance written by McKellar. Although MacDonald announced at the concert that films submitted by fans would be used in the movie, the final cut of the movie included only one submission, a front-row recording of major label debut. Broken Social Scene released their fourth full-length album on May 4, 2010. Entitled Forgiveness Rock Record, it was recorded at Soma in Chicago, with John McEntire producing, and in Toronto at the studio of Sebastian Griner and James Shaw. Amy Millan, Emily Haines, and Leslie Feist recorded a track together, marking the first time in the band's history that the three have been recorded on the same song. This album was shortlisted for the 2010 Polaris Music Prize. On August 9, 2010, Broken Social Scene unveiled plans for their All-to-All remix series, which includes 7 different versions of the track from Forgiveness Rock Record. Every Monday a new remix will be released and available exclusively for 24 hours via a different online partner. The first version, All to All, by former Death from Above 1979 drummer vocalist and current Bad Tits frontman Sebastian Griner, was released August 9 via Pitchfork. Low Fee for the Dividing Nights during the recording of Forgiveness Rock Record, the group created what is known as Low Fee for the Dividing Nights while in Chicago. During downtime, band members would head into Soma's second smaller studio to test out new ideas and overdubs while John McEntire worked in the main room. All of the songs on Low Fee for the Dividing Nights were recorded in Soma's B-room. Here they created soundscapes, one of which ended up being the closing song on Forgiveness Rock Record, Me and My Hand, and the rest became the beginnings of the album. Charles Spearin, who made a note from the band, said that what these songs have in common is that they were all written in a spirit of playfulness and fearlessness where we could throw our discrimination to the wind and let the judges and critics take the night off. Hiatus. It was announced on August 15, 2011 that the band would go on an indefinite hiatus following an October 1, 2011 show featuring Isaac Brock and a fall tour in support of TV on the radio. On November 8, 2011, a post on the band's official Twitter account in advance of a concert in Rio de Janeiro stated that it would be the band's final live performance. However, on January 14, 2013 the band was announced as a headliner of the Field Trip Arts and Crafts Music Festival, celebrating 10th anniversary of their label Arts and Crafts. The band appeared on a number of compilation albums released in 2013, including Arts and Crafts, 2003-2013, Lover's Spit, and Deathcock, Arts and Crafts, X and Sing Me the Songs, celebrating the works of Kate McGarrigle. Broken Social Scene Story Project In 2013, publisher House of Anansi teamed with several members of Broken Social Scene to sponsor the Broken Social Scene Short Story Contest. Authors were challenged to create works inspired by the individual tracks of Broken Social Scene's breakthrough album, You Forgot It in People. From the over 400 submissions, 13 finalists were chosen, one for each track of the album. Their stories were published in the anthology The Broken Social Scene Story Project, short works inspired by You Forgot It in People. The 13 finalists were, Sheila Tola, Capture the Flag, Morgan Murray, Casey Accidental, Tom Harford, Stars and Sons, Holly Adams, Almost Crimes, Jesse McLean, Looks Just Like the Sun, Shari Kasman, Pacific Theme, Caitlin Galway, Anthems for a 17-Year-Old Girl, Jane Utskoski, Cause Equals Time, Eliza Robertson, Late 90s Bedroom Rock for the Missionaries, Marisa Gil Fuser, Shampoo Suicide, Mihan Doherty, Lover Unregistered Trademark S-Bit, Zoe Hittall, Unregistered Trademark M Still Your Fag, Marcia Walker, Pitter Patter Goes My Heart. Touring lineup history. From 2002 to 2004, female vocalists Emily Haines, Leslie Feist, and Amy Millan rotated between availability from their own bands, until a full-time replacement was found in 2005 with Lisa Lobsinger. From time to time, any one of the women will usually resume their role on their trademark songs, and appear unannounced prior to the show. 2001, Kevin Drew, Brendan Canning, Brodie West. 2002, Kevin Drew, Brendan Canning, Justin Pieroff, Andrew Whiteman, Charles Spearin, Jason Collett, Evan Cranley, Leslie Feist, Emily Haines. 2003, Kevin Drew, Brendan Canning, Justin Pieroff, Andrew Whiteman, Charles Spearin, Jason Collett, Evan Cranley, Leslie Feist, Angus Pauls. 2004, Kevin Drew, Brendan Canning, Justin Pieroff, Andrew Whiteman, Charles Spearin, Jason Collett, Evan Cranley, Amy Millan, James Shaw. 2005, Kevin Drew, Brendan Canning, Justin Pieroff, Andrew Whiteman, Charles Spearin, Ohad Benchetrit, Julie Pennea, Leslie Feist, Dave Hodge, Lisa Lobsinger, John Crossingham. 2006, Kevin Drew, Brendan Canning, Justin Pieroff, Andrew Whiteman, Charles Spearin, Ohad Benchetrit, Julie Pennea, Amy Millan, Dave Hodge, Lisa Lobsinger. 2007, Kevin Drew, Brendan Canning, Justin Pieroff, Andrew Kenny, Bill Brittle, Sam Goldberg. 2008, Kevin Drew, Brendan Canning, Justin Pieroff, Andrew Whiteman, Charles Spearin, Jason Collett, Evan Cranley, Amy Millan, Dave Hodge, Sam Goldberg, Liz Powell, Leon Kingstone. 2009, Kevin Drew, Brendan Canning, Justin Pieroff, Andrew Whiteman, Charles Spearin, Jason Collett, Evan Cranley, Leslie Feist, Dave Hodge, Lisa Lobsinger, Sam Goldberg. 2010, Kevin Drew, Brendan Canning, Justin Pieroff, Andrew Whiteman, Charles Spearin, David French, John McEntire, Dave Hodge, Lisa Lobsinger, Sam Goldberg. 2015, Kevin Drew, Brendan Canning, Justin Pieroff, Andrew Whiteman, Charles Spearin, Evan Cranley, Amy Millan. Collett took time off to promote his solo release Idols of Exile, and to attend to his family, prior to the 2005 fall tour. During the 2007 tour, Bill Brittle broke his collarbone, just before the 16th October gig at the Birmingham Academy 2. They were joined on tour by James Shaw from Metric, who had flown in that morning from Toronto. Mitch Bowden, Brittle's bandmate in Don Vale and the Brittle Concern, joined the 2007 tour to replace Brittle. Discography albums B-side albums Beehives Broken Social Scene presents Kevin Drew, Spirit If Brendan Canning, Something for All of Us EPs Live at Radio Alegre FM in Paris, EP To Be You and Me originally released with Broken Social Scene, 200,606 Lollapalooza, Chicago, IL, Lo-Fi for the Dividing Nights. Singles Film scores The Love Crimes of Gillian Guess, Half Nelson, Snowcake, The Tracy Fragments, It's Kind of a Funny Story. Soundtracks Queer as Folk A Lover's Spit, Wicker Park A Lover's Spit, Lie With Me, Say Uncle, Half Nelson A Stars and Sons, Shampoo's Suicide, Da 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 Da, The Invisible, The Tracy Fragments, The Time Traveler's Wife A Love Will Tear Us Apart, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World are anthems for a 17-year-old girl, I'm So Sad, So Very, Very Sad, We Hate You Please Die, Last Song Kills Audience, Forks on Fiction A Lover's Spit. Videography, Stars and Sons, Cause equals Time, Almost Crimes, Ibby Dreams of Pavement, 7/4, Fire-Eyed Boy, Major Label Debut, Lover's Spit, I'm Still Your Fag, Forced to Love, All to All, Texaco Bitches, Sweetest Kill. Bibliography, This Book Is Broken. Awards Juno Awards The Juno Awards are presented by the Canadian Academy of Recording Arts and Sciences. Broken Social Scene has won 2 awards from 5 nominations. Polaris Music Prizes The Polaris Music Prize is awarded annually to the best full-length Canadian album based on artistic merit. Broken Social Scene's self-titled album was nominated in 2006, and Forgiveness Rock Record was nominated in 2010. See also: Music of Canada, Canadian rock, list of bands from Canada, list of Canadian musicians, category, Canadian musical groups. References. External links, official website, Arts and Crafts label page.